And good morning. Took my eye off the ball a bit and realized that we were rolling live. So here we are. It is Wednesday, March the 22nd, 2023. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. That's my name. And as the Chiron says, if you're watching the video, your news side piece since 2022, way back in, 6 months ago. I am glad to present to you things you might have heard, and these are some news stories, are some of the latest stories, some of the greatest stories, some of the coolest stories from the last 30 hours. So the best in information, politics, current events, and pop culture as vetted by you and then curated by me to make it fit into the deal. So we're going to give you 8 stories from the top 15 that you basically voted on with your engagement throughout the day. And if you don't think we have the right 8 stories, then you need to do more engagement. We'll explain that in just a bit. And yes, the first story we're going to is GameStop, because GameStop is back, baby, for now. For more details about what we do at the Conversation Project and some of the bigger, more better media stuff, if you will, go to our main website. This is theconversationproject.com and check out things there. Plus, we will do some begging, some pleading, and asking for some money as we are pledge driving in the month of March. This is March. So we'll get back to that in quite a bit, so hang on. We'll do that after the newsy stuff. So we'll give you the meat, and then you can kind of skip out on the bill. That's what we do right here. Right now, as advertised, 8 news stories that were vetted by you and curated by me for this morning. Let's get to the first one right now as we teased. Well, I guess we teased the GameStop first, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's start off with the first actual story in the listing. Not in particular orders, if you will, although this one was actually the top story of the day. ESPN set to make multiple layoffs and no one is safe. ESPN is planning to lay off employees in its latest round of layoffs and has told heads of departments to make their divisions as efficient as possible. The network has handed lucrative contracts to its best commentators and analysts, including men like Troy Aikman and Joe Buck and Stephen A. Smith. Of course, Aikman and Buck, new new employees of ESPN coming on to the Monday Night Football roster. Not sure what they're doing right. Excuse me. ESPN's most danger of losing some of its top talent as those who earn more than 7 figures, but don't move the needle. That is people that make a lot of money but don't actually make a lot of noise for ESPN. Stephen A. Smith, of course, the face for many years essentially of ESPN, who basically says people turn to the station to see me, and that's what happens. He says he doesn't think he's safe. Now, chances are he's not going anywhere, and so aren't Aikman or Buck. But essentially, anybody that's going to save them some money over there for the Disney company will be on the chopping block if it means saving enough money to keep things going. ESPN, once the stalwart, basically the gold standard of the sports television network, the very first one, first viable one, if you will. Now with all the options and all the breakups and all the splinters and the fact that ESPN is kind of bloated, having some business issues. Let's go to another broadcaster having some issues. This one in the legal realm. Headline says a whole bunch. Fox News producer was forced to spy on Maria Bartiromo, who execs called crazy. These are quotes. Menopausal and hysterical. And the quotes, new lawsuit says Abby Grossberg was witnessed to hostile workplace behavior towards host Maria Bartiromo, including being forced to spy on the host and reporting back to executives about her behavior. Ralph Gordiano used his position of power to coerce the Fox Business Network producer into spying on Bartiromo. According to the lawsuit, Grossberg's lawyers argue that Jerry Andrews, vice president of Weekend News at Fox News Media, also requested that Grossberg spy on Bartiromo and report back to him anything, quote, crazy. Of course, a lot of things she's been accused of is basically mostly spreading lies and unvetted information about the 2020 election. Bartiromo, one of the biggest financial news persons in the world for a long time, basically at CNBC, went to this fledgling Fox business as they went to kind of take over their part of the world. And basically everyone over there basically turned nutso and is basically following Trump to, the edge of the cliff. That's essentially what's going on here. We'll see how this plays out, but this is a different lawsuit. Other than the whole Dominion thing, This is a whole nother lawsuit happening right now. Now, the moment you've been waiting for, maybe. GameStop stock soars after retailer posts first quarterly profit in 2 years. Sounds pretty good, right? They didn't provide financial guidance and haven't done so well since the early days of the pandemic. But recently, GameStop has done what it can to stay afloat, stay above water, keep business going. They're working on the real estate deals and getting out of a lot of their malls and a lot of their strip shopping centers where they are basically not making any money. They're working on their inventory and having less bloat there as well. They may not be paying their people well, which is a problem, but they're doing what they can to make the money work. And because of that, they have scored a profit, first profit in 2 years. GameStop stock is up substantially, about 25% since the opening yesterday. It basically took a big jump when they opened up as they put out the financial news, and overnight it gained a bit more. So if you had your GameStop stock a few days ago, you're good. Trying to buy it now might be a little iffy. We shall see how that plays out as well. Oh yeah, this guy. DeSantis needles Trump after he breaks silence on hush money case. So today is Wednesday, and we're going to find out today maybe if there's an indictment for Donald Trump in New York over the Stormy Daniels case. What we're finding out from Ron DeSantis is that he can try to really throw some barbs, but we'll see what's happening. He's basically playing, both sides. He, said he's not going to help the feds, bring in Trump if something happens. At the same time, he also says that, Ron DeSantis is not one to spend money on porn stars. Not quite in first person, but that's how it goes. So a little bit of a jab at Donald Trump for getting himself in this sort of trouble, but at the same time, letting the folks know that he's not going to play snitch or turn over Donald Trump, although he'd probably love to. But because of the way, the people that he wants to vote for him are, he's going to think twice about that. Or he has thought twice about that, and is not going to step into that one. Congratulations are in store for Macaulay Culkin and Brenda who welcome in baby number 2. This is confirmed by Macaulay's brother, Kieran. Of course, he's all over the TV right now as one of the stars of the session. Macaulay Culkin and Brenda both of them not so much in the news right now, but 2 child stars who had, some little turbulent times. Macaulay Culkin had some big issues, and they are, just so adorable. And now they are bringing in another baby, a second baby with Brenda having together as there. They already have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Not sure how that works if it's their second baby. I can't do math. But the robot editor has it down as that way. So we will see how they have no pictures yet. No beautiful pictures come out yet. But it's been confirmed that they did quietly have a second baby. Let's go to a story that got a lot of people a little worried. My first notice of this was watching the NCAA championship this weekend and seeing the alternate team with Ernie Johnson and Candace Parker that usually has Shaquille O'Neal having bars back and forth with Parker. He wasn't there. Then the picture popped up where Shaq is in the hospital saying he misses Candace Parker doing his stuff. Shaq had hip replacement surgery over the weekend or earlier later in the week, and then posted the picture online for people to see and people to kind of wonder what was going on. And then people had to kind of get what's going on. Ernie Johnson, Candace Parker, some of the other people who know Shaq, essentially in their well wishes, essentially let the cat out of the bag, and now Mr. O'Neal is letting people know what's going on. So quick recovery for Mr. O'Neal, Mr. Shaquille. Hopefully he'll come back going forward on that one. So he's going to do what he can to just get back into decent shape and get on his feet as quickly as possible. Chances are it won't be before the end of the tournament. So we probably won't see much of Shaquille O'Neal for tournament coverage, but he'll be back for the latter coverage of NBA, I'm sure. Here's an interesting one that may get your goat a little bit. India cuts internet to 27 million as Punjab police hunt Sikh separatists. I don't have an update for this one. This is a story that's actually going on the further end of the 30 hours of news. But Punjab government announced a 24-hour internet ban on Saturday and extended it for a third time to midday Tuesday under law that allows the connections to be cut to prevent any incitement of violence. And at least 112 people have been arrested in Punjab, according to 100, including hundreds of Singh's supporters, while Singh remains on the run. There's someone who was out there. They're trying to figure out who he is. Some supporters have actually vandalized Indian High Commission in London over the weekend, prompting UK authorities to consider the incident an issue of violence as well. Back in 1984, an Indian army stormed the Golden Temple in Amritsar, killing thousands and reducing much of the building to rubble because of the protest. Now, this is an issue where this is a place where the government don't play. They don't have the rights and the liberties we have here in the United States. And so shutting off the internet so you can't communicate and just basically barging into the houses and beating people down is something that could be done, in a sense, the global overreaching over there. And that's what we're seeing over here. This is a story that basically crept up on us. So you might want to go ahead and click this link, see what's going on there, and go deeper into the story of what's going on. This is not a surprise to people who follow stories on human rights and abuses, but for people who are just sort of randomly picking up some things like we do here sometimes, just kind of picking things out of the ether. It's covered by CNN. That's the link where we got this came from, but that doesn't mean there's a lot of coverage on it. Anderson Cooper is not covering this one, guaranteed. And finally, congratulations, a celebration going on for Rupert Murdoch, who's 94, engaged to Ann Lesley Smith following his 4th divorce. So, yeah, Rupert Murdoch is getting married again, probably, to a lady named Ann Lesley Smith. She's a former South San Francisco police chaplain. I'm not sure how that came together, but they met 6 months ago at his vineyard, and he called together 2 weeks later, so they've been hanging out together. And Mr. Murdoch hopes this is his last marriage. He's 92, so he hopes to get a lot of time out of it and make it to that marriage. Miss Smith was previously married to someone, so it's not her first time. She's actually a widow, if you want to believe that. Of course, Mr. Murdoch has 6 children from his previous marriages. And yeah, Rupert Murdoch at 92 getting hitched again after divorcing his last wife, who I believe is still in her 50s. I believe. So yeah. Yeah, I'm there too. Let's go to our teaser story. Let's get out of this one as quickly as possible. This is a story that corresponds with the day, honestly. So if you want to be a part of this one and talk this one up, it's very simple. Go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/This Is a Conversation Project and Twitter.com/th_conversation. Engage in the story and we can chat it up. If it's one that you deem possible. Basically, if it's in the top 15 of the 30 or so stories that we'll post in a day, we'll look for it and we'll pick 8 of the stories total to make that happen. It's a weird line in the thing today. But this story, headline reads, UN warns against vampire global water use. Today is water day, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But if this is something that catches your attention, you want to talk about the use or abuse of water, a lot of stories today going to deal with that. You can just vote this one up in the feeds. It's that simple. You can also help us out by going to thisisaconversationproject.com/sponsors and visiting one of our sponsors, or just going to this one we're talking about today, which is for hostage tape. And yes, every time we talk about this, I get the jokes. Hostage tape sounds kind of funny. Is this real? Are you doing Saturday Night Live parodies now? No, I'm not. This is a product that could save your marriage. Maybe save your life, if you will. Hostage tape is advertised as the strongest, most comfortable mouth tape on the planet. And it's just like putting one of those breathe right strips on your nose to help open up your airways for the nighttime when you breathe. It literally closes your mouth so that you're forced to breathe through your nose. You can use it for plenty of things, like you see in the picture there. That guy is out there running, doing some exercise, and he's got that over his mouth so that he's breathing through his nose. For your sleep patterns, you can help you to breathe through your nose. You follow where I'm going here. So you have a better sleep and from better breathing. You don't wake up in the night just sort of choking yourself in the middle of the night with your snoring because your airways are closed. It forces you to breathe through your nose. Check it out. Don't laugh until you try it. Go to thisistheconversationproject.com/hostage tape. This is theconversationproject.com/hostage tape, just like it said, HOSTAGE tape. And see if there's something that may help you out in your daytime activities or your nighttime activities based on how you sleep. This is an affiliate link, so we do get a cut from every sale that comes through. So if it's one that you like, just tell them where you got it from. And it's us. Check it out at thisistheconversationproject.com/hostage tape. Conversation Project is homed at thisistheconversationproject.com. That's our website, and we do what we can to do what we can there. We are pretty happy about it. We like it ourselves, and so we hope you like us as well. And if you do like us, we're asking for a little bit of help. Actually, you're asking for a lot of help, if you to be honest. We're looking to gain $200 of recurring extra income and have that secured by the end of this month. So if you think that what we're providing for you is quality, good stuff, let us know. And you can go to our partnerships page, which is thisistheconversationproject.com/partnerships, and join us for the festivities. You can help to directly fund what's happening here for the Conversation Project. Mostly, we need you to basically follow the feeds and keep us the work. But if you do feel that we're offering you something that's worthy of contributions, we can use that assistance. Thank you so much in advance. Now, let's move on to the fun stuff. We love getting to the fun stuff. And today, we start off with our birthdays and today things you might not have heard. Guess whose birthday is March 22nd? The Rocket Man himself, William Shatner, is turning 92 years old. Now, many people know him as the lovable, cuddly James T. Kirk, or the lovable, cuddly T.J. Hooker, or the kind of prickly William Shatner. Either way, other ways, he's turning 92 years old today. Congratulations and great job on that, Captain James T. Hooker Shatner. Keegan Michael Key, 52 years old today, of course, coming to prominence, if you will, with Key and Peele, but just being just a really funny and talented guy in general. I'm really sad that his recent show, Reboot, did not get a second season because it left on a pretty big cliffhanger that people were really into and got great reviews on Hulu. But Keegan Michael Key gets to do more stuff, including go on game day and call football games. He can do that too. 52 years old today. Constance Wu, who is a very versatile actress, playing lots of roles, lots of stuff, and just being really funny. 41 years old on the day as well. Now, as I said earlier, today is World Water Day, where awareness for water and sanitation it comes out to the forefront in most places you think as the third world type places, but we have water issues here in the States. We have issues of droughts in California, where right now they're wondering why they're dumping all this rainwater and snow runoff into the ocean when they could turn it the other way and fill up all these reservoirs that are being drained out and dead bodies really showing up because it's so low. Water is a source of life. It is a key to life. You can't live without it. And so water is something that's very important. And so you should do a little bit about your water. Check your water. Literally check your water. See if there's anything weird about your water in your town. See how they're keeping your water clean and sustainable there where you live. And if you have a notion to go a little bit bigger, take a look and see how they're doing it at other places where water is in critical issues. Think about Detroit. That's right here in the United States. That's not over in Africa. That's not in South America. That's right here. We have bad water issues here, so we're going to try to do more for us here. Let's go to the history lessons for today. Back in 1980, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals was founded. Hard to believe that PETA only existed since 1980. In 1990, President George H.W. Bush shocked the world when he announced, quote, "I do not like broccoli, and I haven't liked it since I was a kid, and my mother made me eat it, and I'm the President of the United States, and I'm not going to eat any more broccoli." No new taxes, no more broccoli. There you go. And in 2018, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch between Hawaii and California had 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic and was increasing rapidly according to research. We that thing still exists. There's still a large patch of garbage that floats out in the middle of water that you can't do much because it's in the middle of the ocean. Right now, we're kind of chasing a great big patch of seaweed that apparently is larger than the United States, but going to hit Florida and like kill us all. These are things that are serious, dealing with water as well. So if these are things that you should care about, which you should check into more details and stories on those things. And finally, one more thing you might not have heard. Now, there is the song, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, never make a pretty woman your wife, but apparently just never get married at all. If you want to be happy in life, it has come from within. It must come from within. It has to come from within. Getting married won't do it. At least that's the word from research that was published by the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. While newlyweds do tend to experience an initial boost of happiness, they eventually return to the same outlook they had in life before the wedding. If you want to be happy for the rest of your life, don't even marry an ugly woman. Just don't get married. That's what research is saying. And with that, we're done. It's Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. Thank you so much for joining us for our journey here in the not quite metaverse, the internet, on the stories for the news and things you might have heard. Make sure you're staying hydrated, staying limber and on task for all the grand things you are meant to do today, tomorrow, and beyond the days. And just thank you for being here. As we said, if you want to help us out here for the show, go to our partnerships page at our website. This is conversationproject.com. Go to our partnerships page and see if there's a way we can partner up and work together. If not, well, it is what it is. Thank you so much for being with us here. And at this point, we're going to wrap it up and prepare, because we're already posting news stories every 50 minutes on our feeds, for a great show tomorrow.